going live.
I'm loving that music. It's very shagadelic.
What's going on, guys?
It's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, we're back for another week here. We're going live. I think we're at like week 6 now. Getting in there. So today we're actually talking about hiring, and that was the last subject that we ended off on a kind of a cliffhanger there last week. So as usual, just gonna kind of introduce the guys. We have Brad Plume here. He's in the Grey Bruce area in Ontario. Alex Mustatea, I think. We're always kind of messing up his name a little bit, so hopefully we're getting a little bit closer each time at least. And he's in, where are you exactly, Alex? I know you're GTA. Right?
I'm in the Hammer, man.
The Hammer. He's the Hammer. You're Hammer Industries. Is that what you're calling yourself now?
Hammer City Properties, man, in Hamilton, Ontario.
Properties. Yep. Right there in the GTA area, and of course I'm Shawn Gunther, and I live in the Moncton, New Brunswick area on the East Coast. And we're all just kind of a group of investors that we're going to have conversations here week to week and trying to create some accountability for ourselves to get to bring up our web presence. So hiring, who has done it and who is thinking of doing it?
I'm going to have to say I have not.
Not hired?
Not hired and started thinking about it. I think Alex and I are on the same boat where the bookwork end of things when it comes to the money end of things is starting to become a bit of an annoyance and not time well spent, especially if that's not your forte.
Well, and I think we briefly touched on this earlier that I think it makes sense to talk about it, that I'm seeing the value in engaging with a bookkeeper, what that may look like. I'm not entirely sure now. On the one hand, I'm noticing that with multiple projects on the go, it's taking more and more time. So it's taking me away from being able to manage those projects. But on the other hand is, working with a proper accountant and like taking this a lot more seriously, they need a certain structure to the way you present your books, not just a shoebox worth of receipts kind of thing. I don't think that's going to fly.
Why not?
That doesn't work, does it?
Yeah. Why not? Like, just set it up. Well, actually, like we were kind of discussing this a little bit earlier today too, and we kind of got sidetracked with other stuff that we had to do. But I was listening to a call. I believe Andrea was putting on, and she was talking about how they basically will set up different email addresses, like almost per, job specific, and then just like take pictures and email them off to that email address to kind of just keep everything separate. And then you have a digital copy of everything. And then they're each specifically set out for each project. And then you just kind of ship those all off, as a package to your bookkeeper.
It's not a bad idea.
That is interesting. Yeah, that's not bad. Actually, what I have been doing, and I made a point of doing it on a weekly basis, but sometimes I do it every 2 weeks and it becomes that much harder, is that I will go through my receipts and like I have one spreadsheet for each project. I don't like keeping track of costs, and for the most part, the major ones are easy to account for, but even little things that you need to pick up on a go, but I will assign it, like I'll just jot down the date, the vendor, the form of payment, just so I know where to reference it, and the amount, and maybe a brief description of what that was for each project. But it can take time.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's taking a picture. I mean, there's various apps out there. I've used one for work, for my previous job, and I'm pretty sure it would have been a higher cost because it was a complete bookkeeping program, and it just had the phone interface as well, that allowed you to scan the receipt and then allocate it to what it was. But what you're suggesting here could very well just, it's free to just set up multiple Gmail accounts for that.
Exactly. And I mean, there's another opportunity too. If you're always buying your products at the same place, to set up POs, right? And you can set up like a different PO per project.
Oh yeah, that's always the case. And then at the end of, like, I actually did this last year with a paint store, Sharon Williams, because I just asked them to, because I've allocated the different projects, I just asked them to give me a printout of all my different POs, and it was quite simple for them to obtain that.
Yeah, that's the one thing I liked about like my Home Depot account. Every time I order something, put a PO number on it or a job name or whatever, and then every bill that I get, it's already allocated and laid out exactly, like specifics to what job went to what, right? So that's always nice. So yeah, it'd be interesting to look at setting something like that up just in your own personal files or something along those lines. And then obviously figuring out from your accountant which way they like things done as well, so that when you're bringing them all your stuff, they're not looking at it going like, what in the world is this person doing?
Yeah, I'd encourage you to set the bar low with your accountant.
Yeah.
Well, and like, I mean, that's another thing too. Like, if you have an accountant already, they're pretty much lay out for you how they want that done, right? And then, I mean, it's pretty much on you. Like, if you're planning to hire somebody, like, a full-time admin person, or are you just looking to hire like a part-time bookkeeper? Really, where in your business do you find like hiring is going to be the best case for you? Right? Well, what is taking you most of your time away from, actually creating value in your business?
I'm almost tempted to say that personally, at my level, I'm a little hard pressed to try to hire somebody full time unless I can give them a lot of other tasks, which now you're going to end up you could potentially end up overloading this person. If you're paying somebody, let's say, at the low end or minimum wage, I don't know, whatever, something like very little, but on a full-time basis, you're going to be inclined to giving them a lot more work to keep them busy. Versus bookkeeping specifically, you can go out and hire somebody to maintain your books for a set amount, which is going to be a high cost, but that's all they do. And they're not there full-time. They're not so much an employee of yours, but what they bring to the table is a level of structure that you can benefit for years to come. And then you just pay them an X amount per year or per month or whatever that ends up being. You can account for it, and you know that you get exactly what you're paying for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard there's other like apps and like different programs where you can actually just hire somebody short term or pay them hourly for like jobs like that, right? Like, so potentially you could, something that would take you 2-3 hours in a week, you could hire out to somebody for $15-20 an hour, and they just kind of organize it into a spreadsheet. It's basically data entry at that point too, if you have it all kind of laid out clearly enough for someone, right? So, I mean, that might be another perspective. I know myself, I've had a bit of struggles this week because I knew the call was about hiring. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to try to do something to do with hiring. We're looking to kind of expand a bit anyway. So, and, again, the whole point of doing this is to kind of create a bit of accountability for us. So I've been putting out ads and ran into a few different things with Indeed. They want a whole bunch of stuff like proof of your business and like license information and stuff like that. They came to like for the end of it. I thought that was like kind of intrusive, really, like, but I can see their perspective. Like, they're trying to make sure that people that go to look for jobs, they're getting quality jobs too, I imagine, right? So I thought it was just going to be a quick deal kind of going through, and now I realize that I'm going to have to go get some information and resend it back to them and kind of go back and forth there. I also, on my next flyer campaign, I put a referral kind of program on there, like saying that I'll pay up to, say, $500 per lead that's brought to me, that leads to a deal, right? So hoping in turn that'll kind of just spark someone's interest and say, hey, if I can make $500 from this once, like, how can I make more? And you know what I mean? Like, trying to bring from that perspective, because I'd like to get some more salesmen under, going out and tracking down leads and stuff like that. And, I've done also a couple other things too. We're putting ads on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace, but there's not been very much, actual feedback from that. Like, I've had one person, I put in there, one of the most important things was to be able to follow be able to follow instructions and send me a 1-minute video. And the one person that responded said, yeah, I just kind of want to know a little bit more about what this is. I'll send you a 1-minute video later. But it's like, okay, well, the whole point of it was to see what kind of person you are before we kind of talk about it anyway. But have you guys tried anything further than that? Like, are you thinking of hiring any like admin people or any contractors? Because I know both of you do flips, right? So have you thought of any ways that to kind of pull yourself out of the flipping side of things to hire like another GC or a project manager or anything like that?
Yeah, that's something I've thought about, but like right now I'm still just getting into it, right? So it's a matter of I want to get organized well enough that I set up the processes that that person coming on has that flow to follow. Otherwise, it could be a little bit disastrous. So, but interesting. I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about hiring, and for whatever company it was, obviously they get a lot of people applying for this specific company. I can't remember what the name of it was, but during the interview process, one of their questions was always like, what do you feel you are entitled to from this company if we were to hire you? And it was interesting because the person said like, like how do you weed out a large number of people that you feel may be slackers in a sense? And that was the question that basically makes or breaks the interview for those people. As soon as that person goes, well, I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything from the company until I do something for the company to deserve it, then you move on to the next process. But if your answer is, oh yeah, well, I should be entitled to like 2 weeks vacation, this and this and this, boom, interview is over because you're not fitting the mold.
Yeah, well, that's actually a really good question. Now that I think about it, I should write that down somewhere. Well, these are recorded, so at least I'll be able to look back later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Like, I mean, I never thought about it from that perspective, but that's definitely a good way to look at it. Because people coming in, I'm sure there's a lot of entitlement being spread around these days where, just look at how offended everybody is instead of just allowing them to be offended and moving on. We're counseling whole things. But we won't get into that. That's completely off base and off target here.
Yeah.
But
like the other day when Matt was having a conversation with it, and talking about hiring, I found it interesting. Like, we have to remember, like, obviously whenever we're looking at hiring people, we want to bring people on that we feel are going to be part of the business or part of the company for like for years, right? Like you're basically, because you're the owner, you feel like everybody coming on should be part of the family type of idea. But we have to kind of remember like, hey, let's just not give away everything right away in the business to somebody, and let's let them come in and like prove themselves or like work for what they could get out of employment with you, right? So
yeah, well, and that's the thing too. And I mean, I think that you almost have to find the right candidate to see the opportunity, because at the same time, like, I mean, what we're doing is potentially a large income potential, right? Like, you know what I mean? So for us to kind of just have somebody come on and just kind of give them the keys to the kingdom, as it were, like, you know what I mean? They could just kind of walk off and do whatever, right? You want to make sure that you have a culture in your business that people are attracted to, and that the people you're hiring are on board and like, have like-minded goals as you do, right?
Yeah, that's kind of a key point there when you say that. Like, make sure that if you're going to hire somebody, that you actually have your culture and your core values set up. Otherwise, nobody knows what they're coming into, and then then you don't have expectations, they don't have expectations, and that you're just shooting yourself in the foot right off the start, right? So
yeah. Well, and on that that idea of entitlement, like, I don't like that connotation either, in the sense that they're entitled to additional whatever. But I think it is important to acknowledge that nowadays, I'm going to sound like an old fart right now, but let's say the youth may very well be after something in addition to a good salary, whether it's a lifestyle thing, like, looking at Matt and Adam, the way they talk about hiring, they do want they're very specific about the lifestyle that person is going to have, the expectation of them moving in. I'm not looking at hiring somebody like that per se, but being aware that it isn't just salary. It's understanding what that person's needs are at that time and seeing if there's additional value in the compensation, not just the compensation side, but whatever else can be offered in addition to the compensation, to accommodate their lifestyle, to accommodate their expectations or growth, education. Who was it? Simon Sinek that was saying, whenever he was asked in an interview, what is it that he's looking for, is mentorship. His answer would always be mentorship. Well, is there value in that? Can you look at hiring somebody that wants to get into the real estate market, that may be able to benefit from your knowledge at the cost, not so much at the cost, but like building a longer relationship, almost irrelevant of the actual salary.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, have you, I guess that's something to kind of ponder when you're dealing with, potential hires, right? Like, and, kind of feeling it out as you're having that conversation. I think that's a higher level than, maybe potentially hiring your first person, but, you should definitely dive in deeper there. You were saying too earlier, Brad, about you're not looking to bring anybody into your business now until you've built out that process that someone else could follow relatively easy. Have you thought about maybe hiring somebody to do that process for you?
Yeah, it's crossed my mind, and like it would be potentially worthwhile, right? Like if you have that person who's been like on my end, when you're looking at it from a flip perspective, like if you have that person who's been in construction for an extended period of time, knows all the processes and knows the, how to run a business, then yeah, that person would be pretty valuable to establish that setup, right? So,
but I just from another thought process in this, and I know personally, like, not personally, I guess I know you kind of from our interactions that we've had before, and you're very much a get the job done kind of, do it kind of guy, right? So I don't see you as the guy building the processes, maybe Alex, but I think that you could potentially hire somebody that doesn't have all those skills and tell them and almost have them ask you questions, tell them, say, here's your job is to build this process. And then them kind of come at you with the questions that they need to, in order to do that. Right. Just another thought. Right. But, what are your thoughts on that, Alex? I know you're the kind of the process guy. Have you even been close to building out a process where you could put somebody else in your place?
I'm not entirely sure how to answer that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm building that process, whether or not I can drop somebody in. Like, can I describe it in a job description and search for that candidate based on the description? Probably not, but I do have a bit of an avatar in mind. If I were to hire someone full time and bring him into part of my business, so never mind the bookkeeper or these various, or the marketer or whatever, I'm talking somebody that can really step into my shoes and remove myself from the business. The avatar looks like a civil or architectural technology, and that's partially, I guess, because I went to Mohawk College. I don't know if an actual engineer would necessarily go after this sort of opportunity, but either a co-op student or a young grad that has some project management knowledge from school, not so much hands-on, but at least concepts of it, but also some technical skills about construction. And then the renovation and real estate investments is something that they will grow, that will learn from me in these various projects. So basically somebody that I can work with and train them into this over the course of 1 or 2 projects, whatever that may look like time-wise, but also somebody that may need to step in from time to time and swing the same hammer that I'm trying not to no longer do. So there is that aspect of it. And I built that avatar because I've met guys like that. I've met guys that have gone to school to do a technology or an engineering program, and afterwards they decided that they want to actually just stay within the trades, and they ended up getting their plumber's license or whatever, and they're just doing that. So there is that requirement, like it's a little bit of engineering project management knowledge, as well as hands-on, computer literacy. I think it's important. Like I'm almost surprised when I come across independent contractors that still have a hard time putting a proper quote together. Like actually itemizing what it is that you're quoting me for. We'll walk through, I'll give him a scope of work, and I'm almost at the point where I'm telling him, grab the scope of work that I emailed you, copy and paste it, and put a number to it, man. But now you're committed to everything I said in there. So they're still struggling to do that, to give you a firm price. I mean, I don't know if there's a part of greed there that they're trying to be vague and then get you later on adders. But that's something that you need to manage, and that's the type of experience that you'll gain doing these projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you have a lot of guys who are in that industry that they've went into some sort of sole proprietorship of some kind just because they're skilled at what they do. They're a good task person, and I'm the same way. Like, you know what, I've done jobs on the side and stuff as well, and that's the thing on mine. Whenever I'm dealing with jobs on the side, it's always time and material, just because I'm always dealing with like rehab stuff that it's not easily quotable, right? So I could see that, like when you're dealing with a lot of those guys who are just the sole proprietors that have just kind of, hey, I can do this. Like, why am I working for somebody when I can work for myself? Mm-hmm. They don't have that like background or that skill to actually set up doing proper quotes and sitting down and doing all that stuff. And then the ones that try and get into it to try and do that, they don't like. That's the thing is, for somebody who's analytical like yourself and who can like create spreadsheets and create forms and create things along those lines, for you, that is the absolute easiest thing to do, because you're just like, boom, I got everything in front of me. I got it all laid out. For somebody who doesn't have the same mindset as you, it is so difficult to sit down and create a spreadsheet or do an Excel sheet and lay it all out to come up with pricing. It's just so much easier to go, oh, okay, like here's going to be a build list. All right, yeah, so it roughly should be about this price. And then it's just like, most people aren't ready to get into that, dive that deep into things, right? And that's where the big businesses thrive, is because they've hired that person who can do that, right?
So by no means, don't get me wrong. Like if I'm talking to a plumber, I do not expect him to identify every elbow he's gonna use, and then break down costing. That's not what I'm after here. Like anybody listening to this, they're gonna think that, well, no shit, you have a hard time finding contractors because nobody's gonna do that. That's not. But identify for me, what are the variables here? So like if this happens, then this is not in my scope. If you know what I mean, like just at least give me your level of risk here. What is it that you're taking on that you were going to complete 100%, and what is your risk so that I can account for it on my end? So because I'm started with the budget now, and I may have some padding in there, but I need to protect myself, and that's why it's important to be fairly itemized on at least this is going to be the plumbing, this is the electrical. My electrician's pretty good at it, to identify it, and he'll put it down. It just, he'll talk to me and he'll identify everything. And I find that it's easier if I respond to him with an email based on what we talked. And then he's like, yeah, I'm good with it. $18,000. Okay, we're good. He's just not going to type it up, but he's following my logic.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's another thing too. And I think Brad's point there is that, like, when you're doing extensive renovations, you can run into stuff that you don't expect, right? And that can end up costing a lot more. And I think, from Alex, your point there is like, you're asking for a scope of work and an estimate based on that scope of work of specific things. So, and I'm sure even you understand, like when something's opened up and whatever, like, so then you put in like, cost, plus, like, so, I mean, if everything goes well, this is kind of what it's going to cost. But if we run into anything, further beyond that, it could come to more. And I think that's the general knowledge for anyone. Well, you would. Oh, yeah. Right.
That's exactly it. So that's why I'm asking for a firm price based on what we see. And I often like to do that when I've got it, when I've already demoed most of the stuff. but and then leave it open. So it's important to be clear on what's included firm price. And then like I rely on my knowledge as well. Like if the wall comes down and there's a bunch of, like piping that just does not make sense and he needs to replumb all of that, I'm aware that that's going to take more. And so, I've already accounted for that risk, but at least be firm on the stuff that you can see. And sometimes it's just hard to get that in writing, and it can lead to disputes.
Yeah, I can see that for sure, and I can see that being frustrating from both sides. And I mean, the tradesmen that you have coming in too, if they can't give you a relatively firm number or damn near close, if they're not at least padding a little bit on there, which is expected by contractors, right? Because if you run into something or whatever, if they can't give you a firm number there, that just speaks to their inexperience of even giving those quotes, right? So
I take a little bit of pleasure, and I think I'm at a point now where I have sufficient contacts and like part of my power team, sufficient trades that any additional trades I need are often coming as referral from those existing trades. As opposed, so when I had the biggest problem was in the beginning when I did my first project, and most of the trades that I would get into quote were from Yellow Pages, from whatever, like people that I did not know, and I had to sort through a lot of them before I found somebody that I felt comfortable with, as well as gave me a price that made sense. Whereas now, with my electrician, he sent me the quote, and then 2 days I didn't get a response. I didn't get a chance to respond. He calls me up. He's like, "Well, listen, if you find somebody cheaper, let me know." I'm like, "Man, I'm not doing this. That's not why I didn't respond to you. The price is what the price is. Like, I'm gonna work with you on this." It's just that type of relationship. But he felt like he should follow up. I try to calm him down. Like, I'm not shopping you out, man. This is good.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, if you're planning to scale, you're potentially going to need other tradesmen as well too, right? Like, because I mean, the amount of work, depending on how scaled up you're trying to get, right? Like, you might need more than one tradesman of each kind, right? Like, so have you guys looked into that kind of partnership, and have you offered anybody anything, to work for you specifically or quickly if you have a project coming up? Like, have you made any JVs or, have you added value to any of these contractors or tradesmen to work for you specifically? Or are you guys just seeing the need to do that?
It's interesting. So I've had a conversation, and nothing is official or set in stone by any means, but exactly on that note, with this electrician, the conversation went something along the lines of, once I get more of these on the same time frame, I know the guys, the 2 guys he's got working for him. One of them happens to be his son, up and coming electrician himself, and it is more or less an agreement that he's going to scale up with me. There may be an opportunity there where we can kind of grow together. So there is a good relationship between him and I. Now, he's also an investor himself. So now we've extended that conversation into me finding deals for him, or potentially JVing on a deal, like outright, equity split, but also him adding employees as I grow. I don't know what that may look like. I don't know how many projects I'd have to have. And keep in mind that the electrical scope may very well take a week or 2 weeks, but it's very unlikely that you're going to close on a property and have the electrical scope take place at the exact same time.
Yeah.
ESA will have a saying, and that'll screw up 1 week so he can jump around.
Well, exactly, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of process and due diligence that's going to be kind of put in place way before that really needs to happen too, and where you're dialing it in that much to a schedule also, because I mean, I'm sure you'd have your general scope of work and what your schedule would be for that, but how often does that actually happen? And I'm sure it's because of that too. Like, you can only guarantee so much, right?
There's also an opportunity with him. He happens to have he's a master electrician, but he's also an HVAC license. So there may be an opportunity to, depending on the projects, to give him additional scope. Like, okay, handle the HVAC as well.
Yeah. 100%. Well, and especially if he's already got the business, then I mean, technically, you can start hiring guys on that too, and like, I don't know, you could potentially start a whole other HVAC business too. You never know.
Yeah, he's not as keen about pursuing that on its own. Like, if it happens to be in addition to the electrical, he's okay with it. I just didn't get the sense that he's looking at growing that side of things.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that I got from like your earlier comment too, like where you were talking about your potential avatar of somebody you'd bring in to kind of replace you, to like from all the skill sets that you'd want them to have. It seems like you're almost looking to hire like an executive more so than just somebody to kind of handle the project management side of things.
No. I wouldn't say that. I would say exactly just that. A project, so somebody that can actually project manage. Mm-hmm. Somebody that can project manage has some knowledge of the construction industry, the principles of construction. So that's why I sort of indicated like a civil engineering or an architectural engineering, with some sort of a, like, you can almost tell, like, the interviewing process could very well be, why don't you come on the job site, man, and give me a hand for a few hours and let's see how that goes. And then you can kind of get a good sense of, are they afraid of a miter saw, or, do they know not to start it against the wood? That sort of thing. But the project manager, like being able to handle a spreadsheet and a Gantt chart and that kind of thing, and being able to have some conversations with the contractors, that's kind of the starting point. So that's why I put more value on the technical and then education aspect of it. And yeah, no, not the executive side, because I'm not there. I mean, that's something that I'll probably end up doing while they're handling the projects.
Yeah, maybe executive was kind of the wrong term, I guess. And I mean, I think it's just the perspective that I kind of look at it from is like, if they could be specifically you and do all the things that you could do, why wouldn't they do what you're doing, right? So my thoughts are like, so I'm sure you have high expectations, so why, you know what I mean? I just think that maybe you're looking for someone that's too qualified to replace you. You're looking for someone that could do exactly what you do. I don't think that you're going to run into that too often. I think
no, understood. So they're gonna manage some of these projects, while it allows me to focus on acquiring new projects, on like the business development aspect of it, on the money partner discussions. Like, there's a lot. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys, there's a lot more than just project managing the renovation itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like, and the only reason I say that is just because if in my mind, and like the way that I've been kind of thinking about things too, is like, a lot of the stuff that we do is so, all over the place, really, because we're expected to have skills here, and here, instead of just, looking for someone to kind of replace us. Like, could potentially two people that don't cost that much replace you? Like, one person be able to be like the project manager, just kind of go around and make sure that the trades are there on time and doing the job, and be able to send you the pictures and all that stuff. Like, they don't necessarily need to have spreadsheets, computer skills, this, that, and the other thing, where you have them do these specific little tasks and then send them off to, an admin person, and that's able to do the spreadsheets and yada, 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 right? So instead of taking someone who's going to expect, $50 to $50+ an hour, and put it into two people, you're paying 20.
I haven't yet seen the day where a Mohawk grad starts at $50 an hour.
Just a thought, because I don't know what Mohawk is. We don't have that here. So.
That's local college in Hamilton, for what it's worth.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, that's just a thought, anyways, right? Like, just kind of trying to spitball and try to create new ideas, right? Because I mean, I'm looking at it from my perspective, and like, really what I'm doing, I wouldn't need all that anyway. So I couldn't even imagine what you guys kind of have to deal with if you were planning to take yourselves out of the equation. Where with me, it's just salespeople, and try to train some salespeople.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, it looks like we're up on our time anyways. That kind of
Doesn't take long to disappear sometimes, does it?
No, at the first of the call, it's like, all right, none of us have hired and none of us have fully done this, so we're going to run out of time here real soon. But
I have to tell you guys where I am is about a 30-minute drive from. It's still in Hamilton, but from my house, trying to find this one specific European deli shop that carries non-alcoholic beer that my wife likes. So that's just me going out of my way here for non-alcoholic beer because somebody has a beer craving and that's all they can have.
Nice.
Well, that's you being a good husband, that's for sure.
It comes a great effort for me, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's sometimes you got to do what you don't necessarily want to do. Right? I think we've all had that experience before.
Yep.
No, but good luck, guys, and let's do a bit of a sign off here today. Juan Fano saying non-alcoholic beers are good.
Well, for a pregnant lady, they're definitely good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Oh, geez, yeah. So is she? Oh, we won't.
That's why.
Another topic. So, let's just sign off for the day. So, again, I'm Sean Gunther, and I work as a wholesaler here in the east coast of Canada, Moncton, New Brunswick, looking to expand to all of Atlantic Canada. So if anybody's looking to do deals here or is looking to do any sales or is interested in real estate in this area, I would definitely love to hear from you, and I'll just throw my information up here. You can get at me at 506-800-4289 or on Instagram at SeanTG123. Do you want to sign off there, Brad?
Yeah, I'm Brad Plume. We're definitely focusing in the Grey Bruce area, and if you got any stuff going on up there or know of anything that would be interesting, hit me up. 519-379-7911, and it's brad.plume on Instagram.
Alex Mustutsa. Cali pronounced it a little bit better than Sean, but he did a good job nonetheless. I'm, an active flipper, renovator, investor, duplex conversions in the GTA, based out of Hamilton. Always looking for opportunities to partner, JV, money partners, you name it. I've got a few things on the go, but can always handle more. You got my contact details there, so by all means, I look forward to connecting.
Awesome. So anybody who's watching or anybody who will watch, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week at Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you all have a great week.